Hi everyone. Yes, I'm here in the kitchen. Yes, we're going to talk about food. People have asked, I'd like to start on a ketogenic diet, but how do I do it properly? Can I stick to it? This may be a question going on in your mind right now. That's why you clicked on this video. Yes, there could be a lot of confusion going around about what the ketogenic diet is and how to implement it properly for your optimum benefit. That's why you need to understand it to be more effective in applying it to your own lifestyle. Join me as we find the answers to that question. Stay with me till the end of this video. Every now and then, I encounter patients with serious misconceptions about which foods are truly low carb. For instance, not just once did I encounter patients who replaced their rice or muffin at breakfast with oatmeal, believing that oatmeal is low carb and healthy all the way. I cannot fault them. I guess you yourself have seen the American Heart Association's Heart Healthy logo printed on its packaging. I remember another patient who thought that sweet potato would be a nice alternative to keep blood sugars low. With these misconceptions, it's no wonder why certain low carbers still don't get the most optimum blood sugar control. So what again is a ketogenic diet? It is a kind of diet that emphasizes restriction of dietary carbohydrates, often for therapeutic purposes, which means you maintain a very low carbohydrate consumption in your daily diet. That is meant to bring about a state of nutritional ketosis in your body. When you are in a state of nutritional ketosis, you have a certain appreciable level of ketones coming from the breakdown of your body fat into ketone bodies, mostly beta-hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate. How does it work and what is the whole science behind it? I did a previous video on that topic and you might want to watch it. You can click this link here for easy access. And I will also be noting it down in the video description below. To become successful in arriving at the ketogenic diet's end goal, which again is reaching that state of nutritional ketosis, the most important thing to always bear in mind when planning each and every one of your meals is to stick to foods that are truly low in carbohydrate content. To hit that state of nutritional ketosis, it is recommended that you keep your net carbohydrate intake to a ceiling maximum of 30 to 50 grams per day. So that means you go either for a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet or LCKD, or perhaps better still, a very low carbohydrate ketogenic diet or VLCKD. For VLCKD, that means keeping your daily net carbohydrate intake to a more strict level of less than 30 grams per day. Don't worry about that very low carb because carbohydrates is not an essential macronutrient for your body. But by that, I mean to say that even if we do not eat carbs, our bodies can manufacture glucose in the liver through the process called gluconeogenesis. This, however, doesn't apply to certain basic amino acid building blocks for proteins, as well as some fatty acids, which our bodies cannot create on its own, thus we need to supplement them in our diet. Knowing this, some people even push their diets farther by totally consuming foods that have zero carb content, such as what has been called the carnivore diet. So now, how do you keep your daily carbs within 30 to 50 grams max? Most basic would be having a good idea about how much net carbs would there be in foods that you usually eat. Take, for example, a teaspoon of sugar. Would you know how much carbs does it have? Well, it's about 4 grams of net carbs per teaspoon. So how about one hamburger bun? Just the bun. Now, for every bun, which let's say weighs 46 grams on the average, that easily translates to a net carb of about 22 grams. Now, compare that with your daily quota of a maximum of 30 to 50 grams of net carbs to maintain yourself on nutritional ketosis in a keto diet, and you'd more or less have a good idea about which foods to eat and which foods to avoid. With just a cup of rice containing about 44 grams net carbs, you have certainly reached your quota of carbs for the day. Same with 2 regular-sized hamburger buns. And on top of that, you'd probably be eating some other foods that have their own levels of carb as well. So if you are not aware of the carb contents of the foods that you eat, you could easily fall out of ketosis as well. Let me show you this food list in tabulated form. It segregates foods that contain high carb, medium carb, and low carb. Arbitrarily, for the purposes of our illustration here, let's say low carb foods should contain less than 6 grams net carbs per 100 grams volume. High carb foods would contain more than 10 grams net carbs per 100 grams volume, and somewhere in between those figures would be, let's say, medium carb content. The red box, signifying stop, contains a list of high carb foods. The green box, which signifies go, would have foods low to very low in carbs. And in the middle, the orange box, signifying caution, would contain foods having carbs in moderation. So let's go for a run through the red box. What foods are obviously high in carbs? Among the most notorious would be the sweetened drinks and beverages that abound at just about every convenience store around the corner. You have soda or soft drinks, the fruit juices that come either canned or bottled, iced tea, milk tea, those that come disguised as energy drinks, and you have alcohol-containing drinks as well. Grains are, of course, high carb. You have wheat, corn, rice, barley, oats, rye, so on and so forth. The processed food products that are made from wheat flour are definitely high carb. All kinds of bread, cereals, cakes, cookies, biscuits, buns, chips, tortilla, and don't forget pasta. You have spaghetti, fettuccine, macaroni, and of course also the noodles and the ramen. Certain fats and oils are not good for keto, especially the unhealthy trans fats such as the hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils like that found in margarine, and Crisco is a good example. The oils that contain high levels of omega-6 to omega-3 ratio are hypothesized to increase inflammation and perhaps even worsen insulin resistance. These include seed oils, or what has been cleverly hidden behind that seemingly healthy name, vegetable oil. They are mostly made from canola, corn, cottonseed, grapeseed, rapeseed, safflower, soybean, and sunflower. Manufactured milk and dairy products also have high carb content. You have condensed milk, skim milk, and ice creams high in sugar. Many fruits have high content of the simple sugar called fructose, aside from glucose. You have good old apple. Well, an apple a day may keep the doctor away. In some cases, just don't overdo it. You also have bananas, cherries, dates, durian, grapes, and not to mention the dried grape product called raisins. You also have jackfruit, kiwi, lychee, and rambutan, mango, orange, pear, and pineapple. Nuts high in carbs include cashews and pistachios. Vegetables may be classified as either above ground or underground. And those that come from underground sources called tubers are mostly starchy, such as potatoes, cassava, sweet potatoes, or what Filipinos call kamote, and yams, including the purple yam, or what is commonly known as ube in the Philippines. Certain legumes are high in carbs, including chickpeas, black beans, green peas, kidney beans, lentils, and mungo beans or mung beans. Some herbs and spices are also high carb for their equivalent 100-gram volumes, such as garlic, ginger, pepper, rosemary, and thyme. However, you don't usually mix that many herbs and spices in your food, so its volume is usually quite negligible. And of course, all sugar sweeteners are high carb, both the white and brown sugar, as well as muscovado sugar. Other sugar-containing sweeteners that have to be avoided, including agave from cactus, honey, maple syrup, fructose, and the always ever notorious high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, which you can find as an ingredient in many commercially processed foods. Now let's go take a look at the green box. It contains low-carb foods, which for our practical purposes in this video means having less than 6 grams carbs per 100-gram food mass. Non-sugar containing drinks like your good old water, as well as sparkling water that may either have added lemon, lime, or apple cider vinegar are low carb. That also includes tea and black coffee with the option of putting high-fat cream. Pure cocoa drink, almond milk, as well as coconut cream are also in this list. Among plant-sourced oils, avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil are best for keto. The unprocessed or least processed extra virgin olive oil variant is better than the processed regular olive oil. Animal-sourced fat such as lard from pork and tallow from beef are also rich in healthy saturated fats. Dairy products such as pure and processed cheeses, heavy cream, and full-fat yogurt are low carb. If you have to drink milk, I recommend fresh milk, which contains about 4.9 grams net carbs per 100 ml. But in moderation. Avoid the manufactured milk products like condensed, evaporated, and powdered milk, which all contain much higher carbohydrates, definitely. All kinds of meat are okay with keto. That includes pork, beef, lamb, and game, but choose grass-fed sources if possible. All kinds of poultry such as chicken, turkey, duck, and ostrich are also okay, as well as all fish and seafood. Be a little bit careful though with mussels and oysters. They have a little more carbohydrates coming from glycogen as compared to other seafoods. For strict vegetarians and vegans who would like to keep themselves at ketogenic levels, tofu and tempeh, which come from soybeans, are good options. Fruits low in carbohydrates would include avocado, starfruit, or what Filipinos call balimbing, as well as berries like blackberry, raspberry, and strawberry. Most of the above-ground vegetables are low carb. You have asparagus, bamboo shoots, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, chayote, cucumber, and gourds such as the bottle gourd and the bitter gourd. In the Philippines, bottle gourd is called upo and bitter gourd is ampalaya. All green leafy vegetables are low carb such as arugula, bok choy, celery, chard or what is called pechay in Filipino, kale, spinach, and water spinach or kangkong in the Philippines. There's also jicama, as how Mexicans pronounce it, having originated from Central or South America, but which is called singkamas by Filipinos. You got mushrooms also, okra, olives, pumpkin, radish, squash, turnip, and zucchini. A number of legumes are low carb, including edamame, green beans, snap peas, snow peas, soybeans, and string beans. Some herbs have low carb content. Those include basil, cilantro, and parsley. If you need condiments, fermented foods like vinegar, kimchi, pickles, and sauerkraut are all low carb. You may also have full-fat mayonnaise, but just check the ingredients and nutrition facts if they have put added sugar there and how much is it. There are also salad dressings without sugar. And if you need to sweeten your food or dessert, I suggest you use plant-based non-sugar sweeteners like monk fruit, which contains mogosides, and stevia, which comes from the stevia plant containing steviol glycosides. Now here in the orange box, there are certain foods that contain a moderate amount of carbs. Thus, you need to be careful of the total amount you consume. I earlier mentioned fresh milk, which contains about 4.9 grams net carbs per 100 ml. Some fruits may be a bit tolerable as long as you watch out how many servings you consume. You have apricots, cantaloupe, cranberry, dragon fruit, grapefruit, honeydew, lemon, lime, nectarine, papaya, passion fruit, peach, plum, pomelo, and watermelon. You need to be very wary of certain nuts and seeds as well, like almond, peanuts, walnut, hazelnut, pine nut, and sunflower, as well as nut butters made from them. For vegetables, you need to be a bit wary of artichokes, cauliflower, eggplant, leek, and onions, both the red and white variety. Be careful of some salad dressings, especially if they contain some sugars and starches, as well as some non-sugar sweeteners like maltodextrin, maltitol, and sorbitol. Don't worry, you'll have access to the food list I flashed on screen earlier. You can get a free copy of that list I made by clicking on the link I provided in the description below this video. Or better yet, if you want to continuously learn more about the low-carb lifestyle, the ketogenic diet, and intermittent fasting, and how I am actively using it to address metabolic syndrome and improve the metabolic health of my patients, I invite you to become a member of this group, the Low Carb Health Doctor Keto Lab. I will briefly flash a QR code on screen. You may pause this video and scan it with your mobile device, and you'll be invited to the group. Just wait for approval by the administrators, or you can access the link to the Keto Lab group in the video description below and click it. Now I've given you a list of foods that either help you attain metabolic health or perhaps worsen it in due time. If you have the genes that enhance your risks of easily developing metabolic syndrome, your life's journey will easily lead you that way if you allow it. That's a daily choice that you need to make. That will empower you to eat and become healthier each day. Or you go the opposite way. That's now your choice, your personal responsibility. I hope I have helped you in whatever way in your own keto journey. If you think this video will help your friends lead healthier lives, do share it with them. Subscribe to my Low Carb Health Doctor channel. Get notified of my upcoming videos by clicking on that notification bell, and see you next time.